Hello and welcome to the Autocar show. Well, you first saw this car in 2012 at the Auto Expo, and it's been a long wait for the EcoSport to finally hit the Indian roads. But it's here and it's all set to be launched in June. Well, we're driving it with the award-winning EcoBoost engine first up today. Look at it and you can't help but admire the work done by the Ford designers. Sure, it's beefy in a lot of places, but that's what makes this hatch-based platform look more SUV. The tall 200mm ground clearance and the large 16-inch wheels give it the stance. The most striking part though is really the front, with its very large grille and slim wraparound headlamps. It makes it instantly recognizable. Through the side, there's the rising belt line which gives it motion, and the cladding all around adds a nice touch. The dual-colored side view mirrors are large and practical but look nice too. The character line that starts in the bonnet goes into the A-pillar which flows over the top, giving the silhouette continuity. The kickers at the side and the spoiler at the rear make it aerodynamic. The tailgate with the spare wheel mounted atop finish off the SUV look. The boot space will fit two medium-sized suitcases at the max. However, the rear seats fold forward with a 60-40 split for a total of 705 litres, which gives it a bit more versatility. The interior has lots from the Fiesta, including the plastic quality, and that's not so good. It looks nice, but there are lots of bits like the panel gaps in the glove box and the shinier plastics that let it down. The EcoSport will be offered in 4 trim levels, and it is very generously equipped, with even the base ambient version getting tilt and telescopic steering, a music player with aux-in and Bluetooth, electric wing mirrors, remote locking, a multi-function display and 15-inch wheels. However, the top-end titanium version, which we are driving, is really loaded. It gets 16-inch wheels, steering-mounted audio controls on a leather-wrapped steering wheel, climate control, adds ABS, driver seat height adjust, a glove box with a cooler, front fog lamps, rear parking sensors, push-button start, leather seats, keyless entry, Ford's voice-operated sync system, and front, side and curtain airbags as well. Out on the road, we got a chance to see how the sync system works. EcoSport comes with Sync, which allows you to connect your iPod, iPad, phone, or even a USB and operate it all through voice command. At the moment, I'm using a USB. And normally, you have to shuffle around for the tracks, use the dials, look around, get your eyes off the road. But this allows you to keep your eyes on the road and do it all simply by voice command. Let me show you.
USB, please say a command.
Play The Way It Is.
I didn't understand you. Please try again.
Play The Way It Is.
Playing track the way it is.
Takes a little while to understand you, but when it does, gets it right. But it's nice because you really don't have to take your eyes off the road and play your songs, shuffle them around while you're driving home from work. And this sync system can also contact emergency services. Say you're in an accident and the airbag deploys or the fuel pump line gets cut off, then sync will come on and it will tell you that it's going to dial emergency services. Now, say you're all right and you don't need anything done, then you just disconnect it by pressing the button on your steering wheel. Or it will then, if it doesn't get a response from you, dial 108, give the GPS coordinates of where you're at so the emergency services can get to you. It will also connect you by voice to the emergency services so you can speak to them if necessary. The main talking point of the EcoSport is Ford's internationally acclaimed 1-litre 3-cylinder turbocharged direct injection EcoBoost petrol engine, which makes its debut in EcoSport in India. Although diesel is the fuel choice of the SUV buyers, Ford really wants to focus on this new motor, and so it was the only one available for the media drive. The EcoSport will also get the 2 engines from the Fiesta, the 110 bhp 1.5 petrol and the 90 bhp 1.5 diesel. The former will also get the option of Fiesta's 6-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox and will get a hill start assistance system with a 3-second hold. But for now, let's talk about the EcoBoost we're driving. Start off and the engine is quite silent at idle. It's only when it's at max revs that it gets a bit thrummy. Smooth, nice to drive. It's hard to believe that it's a 3-cylinder. And though there is the thrum, it's never intrusive. And that's also because the EcoSport's cabin is really well insulated. In fact, the cabin is so quiet that it feels like a car of a class much higher above. The engine is mated to the tried and tested IB5 5-speed manual gearbox, which has a pretty slick and accurate shift. Engage first gear and the EcoSport pulls away smartly. It works well on path throttle, and for the better part, it's hard to believe that it's a 1-litre motor. It actually feels more like a 1.5, especially in the mid-range. But if you slow down, put your foot down again, you realize this is a turbocharged engine. It has a bit of lag, you have to spin it beyond the 1800 RPM mark, but once you get past that, you're served with a good dose of punch. And the lag means that you do have to keep working the gears. You feel the lag mostly when you need to get a sudden move on. If you are ambling around, the EcoBoost masks it pretty well. Where there is no compromise, however, is the dynamics. Fords are known to be great driver's cars, and the EcoSport more than lives up to this reputation. The steering is just phenomenal and comes with Ford's pull drift compensation, which corrects the steering when it detects a pull caused by crosswinds or a crowned road surface. So steering light and easy when you want to amble around in the city or make a turn, but here on the winding roads of Goa, realize you can really push the EcoSport and have loads of fun with it. It's really composed around the corner, it gives you a whole load of confidence, and the dynamics are really at a different level. Steering is direct, pointed, and the car goes exactly there. The brilliant suspension along with the large 205 60R16 tires give it great levels of grip, and any driving enthusiast is bound to enjoy his time behind this wheel. Ford has painstakingly tuned the suspension to strike a finely judged balance between the ride and handling. The result is a car that feels sure-footed at any speed on any surface. Now, normally when the handling is good, the ride is always compromised a little bit, but I have to say that the Ford engineers have done a fantastic job. This ride is flat, it's composed, and still it has that soft suppleness to it that just doesn't let the hard bumps and potholes filter through. Be in no doubt that the EcoSport sets a new ride and handling benchmark for a car below Rs 10 lakh. Now, by hatchback standard, the EcoSport's cabin is quite spacious, but as an SUV, the interiors lack the size and space you associate with this body style. So the backseat of the EcoSport, not the most roomy place to be. Window line's a bit high, it's a dark interior, you can feel a little hemmed in. But the seat is nice and high, so you have good visibility, and that helps. Also, the seats themselves extremely comfortable, good under thigh support. Your backrest has a recline mode, so you can push your seat back, get more comfortable on long journeys. And if you have someone as short as Hormus sitting in front of you, then legroom isn't too much of a problem. We didn't get a chance to test drive the fuel consumption of the EcoSport. But in the Indian driving cycle, this EcoBoost gives a very impressive 18.9 kilometers per litre. To put this into perspective, that's more efficient than even the frugal Honda Brio, which gives 18.4 in the same cycle. Spend a day with the EcoSport and it's bound to win over your heart. This car has huge emotional appeal. may not have a very practical side. The interior quality of plastic lets it down a bit, just not up to the level of the Germans. And if you're expecting space like the Duster, you will be a little bit disappointed. The interiors are dark, the window line is high at the back, feels a little hemmed in. Although it is spacious by hatch standards and you can get two tall people in one behind the other, but it's a snug fit, it's not roomy, and the boot is small. However, get your hands behind the wheel and all those negatives just vanish away. This car is a whole load of fun to drive. The dynamics, a cut above everything else. It handles really well, the ride quality is good, the engine is eager, it revs well, it's smooth, refined, and it's got a good dose of punch. You sit inside, you get that high up, king of the road SUV feel, but yet it handles like a hatch. It's so easy and nimble to drive. Well, of course, there's the looks, that big beefy appeal in that compact size. It's a hot looking car. So the EcoSport has all the potential to win over hearts. Now all Ford have to do is price it right.